Hi everyone, thank you for attending. So today we'll be presenting Onyxia, which is an open source software provided by INSEE, which is the National Institute of Economic Studies and Statistics. And it's a project about providing a state-of-the-art work environment for data scientists without relying on closed source big data software and infrastructure. I'm talking about Amazon Web Service, Google Cloud Platform, or Kaggle. I am Joseph Garrone. I'm a long-time open sourcer. You can find me on GitHub at Garrone, and I'm the lead developer of the current iteration of Onyxia. So at the core, what is the problem Onyxia is trying to solve? When you have a data team, when you have a team of data scientists, the default approach is to provide them with individual workstation. What I mean with workstation is computers that are more powerful than the average Lenovo, with maybe a lot of RAM and a graphic card, a GPU, something like this. This approach is have many limitations. First of which being that it's not cost efficient because most of the time the data scientist is just coding or studying and he's not trying a model or doing data intensive task. So the workstation is just idling. The second issue is the scalability. There's only so much RAM, so much GPU you can fit within a single computer. You will never have a 6 NVIDIA GPU and a 2 terabit of RAM in a single workstation, regardless of the price. There is also a big reproducibility issue. Work environment of data scientists are often built among months, sometimes years. They install a lot of library. We don't know in which version. So when comes the day we want to go in production or try to replicate the findings, we run against the problem, it works on my machine, and we don't know how to run their code. There's also administrative restriction. Often the computer that the staff has in a big organization is masterized. The end user doesn't have the access to install anything new. So when they want a new software, they have to go to the IT department, and it creates a lot of friction. It's not a good development environment. And lastly, we have a data security hazard. When you work with very sensitive data sets, you don't want the data to be downloaded on individual computers that are directly exposed to the internet. If only one of those computers get compromised, the data can get leaked, and this is a big issue in some use cases. So the solution is to switch paradigm and to provide a cloud-based work environment. Why does it solve all the problems? First, because it enables to pool computing resources. You can just build a big data center, provide a lot of RAM, a lot of GPU, and when a data scientist needs to train a model, they can just allocate like 2 terabit of RAM and 6 NVIDIA GPUs. And when it's done with it, you can release the resources to be used by someone else. So it's like car sharing, but for computational power, it's very efficient, and it enables to do things that it would be impossible. Like I said before, having 1 terabit of RAM is unimaginable on your computer. It also enables horizontal scalability, which is just not possible. You can't, when you have a computer, just make some little computer appear when you need some rescue to the main process. The only scalability you have is shutting down the process and restarting on a bigger machine, which is referred to as vertical scalability. So not only a cloud-based work environment enable much easier vertical scalability, but it also enable horizontal scalability by spawning process on demand with Spark, for example. And it's a complete game changer for reproducibility and ease to going from lab to production. When you go all in with Docker and containerization with Kubernetes, granted it takes some time for the data scientists to adapt to this new paradigm, to configure an environment so that it can be pop and discarded on demand. But once you get them used to that, it pays huge dividend on the long run. It makes it way more easy to go into production. And for education, it's also a huge deal, because like if you have a lab and you have 2 hours of lab, you all know that there's at least 1 hour that is wasted by explaining to every student how to install the correct work environment, but this student have Windows and it doesn't install the same way. It's a big waste of time. With a web-based infrastructure, you can just share a link and every student have the exact same environment, just like that. And there's no discrimination with students that are more fancier computers. So what's the state of the art of data science technology? Our team have laid down this graph, this diagram. I won't dive into the specificity of each of these tools, but the main idea I want to convey is that all those tools are open source and are web-based. So at this point, you may think, okay, so the only thing we need to do is provide a work environment, provide the data, a Kubernetes cluster, and make all those tools available, and that's it. Well, in theory, yes, but in practice, it's not the body of work of a data scientist to know how to use all those tools together. Like, a data scientist don't know how to request a web token for access his S3 bucket. This is the type of thing IT professional would do. So there's the need for a piece of technology, piece of software that make the glue between all these technology. And this is exactly what is Onyxia. Onyxia is a very user-friendly graphical interface that provides the data scientist with some option. So what do you want to do? You want to work with Python? We have all this environment. Do you want to change the default configuration? No. So I'm just going to launch Jupyter for you. And it's just like that. It's just like having an IT assistant at your side. And it's a complete game changer because it makes it possible for the data scientist to work with the state of the art without hiding the complexity. Onyxia is never trying to hide the complexity, and we always show, if you want to look, okay, I'm launching this thing for you, but if you would like to do it yourself, you could run this command. So at the start, data scientists start using Onyxia because it's the only way they can interact with the cluster. And after some time, they get used to the technology and they keep using Onyxia, but just because it's a good user experience, but they would know how to do it by interacting directly with the cluster with command line interface and API request. So just a word, because there's a lot of people that don't make the distinction between the SSP cloud and Onyxia. So the SSP cloud is the instance of Onyxia of INSEE that is at the headquarters of INSEE, and it's very well known because it's open to every French student and every public servant. And people think, so this SSP cloud is Onyxia, but no, Onyxia is much more like that. It's an open source project that can be instantiated on any infrastructure. If you have a cluster, even if you don't, you can provision one on AWS or any other cloud provider and install Onyxia on it. And you can customize the theme, you can put your branding, change the header, and Onyxia comes with a big catalog of carefully crafted data science services, but if you think that some are missing, you can add your own catalog, or if your organization have special needs, you can add these services to the catalog, and anything that have a Docker image can be integrated with Onyxia. So now I will show you what the product, well, the software actually look like with the video, if I can find where the screen is. Damn it. Hold on. Donc ça, c'est pas à gauche. Chiche. Bon. All right.
Ouais, il est fort. Maintenant, après, pour le son. Ah, par contre, Max, ça marchera pas avec le son, c'est sûr. Il n'y a pas de son? Ça va être sûr, ça va sortir sur. Faut que je fasse pousser au parleur. On vous attend, on tente. Je sais, et on est en train de travailler aussi. Tu veux? Non, mais ce que je veux dire, c'est qu'on vous entend. Je sais, il faut qu'on travaille aussi.
Onyxia.
Okay, thanks everyone for your attention. You can find us at onyxia.sh. This is our domain, onyxia.sh, and not onyxia.io, onyxia.sh. You can find the instruction on how to install Onyxia if you want, access our main instance, or get in contact with the team. Thanks you all.